At Thanksgiving dinner, right when I thought we were about to dig into the turkey, my sister stood up, cleared her throat, and dropped a bomb. "We took a vote," she said, loud and proud, "and you're no longer part of this family." And just like that, the room erupted in applause. People actually cheered. I let out a quiet laugh and said, "Well, in that case, you probably won't be needing this." I reached into my bag and gently set a folder right in the middle of the table. The second she opened it, the screaming started. But let me back up for a second. Sabrina stood up from her chair like she was on stage somewhere, wearing that smug little smile she always practiced in the mirror. "Before we carve the turkey," she said, with a tone so syrupy it gave me cavities, "there's something we all need to say." Just like that, the room froze. Forks stopped halfway to mouths. My stomach twisted into knots. I knew that voice. Same one she used when she got me grounded at 14 for a party I didn't even attend. She turned to everyone, all eyes on her, and said, "We took a family vote." Then she paused for dramatic effect, like a pageant queen waiting to be crowned. "And we've decided you're not one of us anymore." Dead silence followed. Then, suddenly, a wave of celebration. Clapping. Shouting. Actual cheering. My cousin Maya was clapping like she'd just seen her favorite band in concert. Uncle Raymond raised his wine glass with a grin and toasted the whole thing. And my mom, my own mother, laughed and said, "Well, someone finally said it." I sat there, completely still, just staring down at my plate. The stuffing had gone cold, but my blood was boiling. My dad? He didn't even meet my eyes. Just took a sip of his beer and muttered, "Probably for the best." "Wow," I said, slowly pushing my chair back. "You guys actually rehearsed this, huh?" Sabrina just smiled even wider, like she was proud of the production. "You've been toxic for years," she said. "We're just done pretending." "You're not family," my mom chimed in, as casually as if she were commenting on the weather while reaching for the cranberry sauce. It was unanimous. I glanced around the table. Not a single person spoke up. No one defended me. Not one. "All right," I said softly, nodding to myself. "Good." Then I reached into my bag. "I figured this might happen," I added, pulling out a thick folder and setting it square in the middle of the table. It landed with a loud thunk, and that sound cut straight through all the laughter. Sabrina blinked, confused. "What's that?" she asked. I leaned back in my chair, folded my arms, and smiled. "Why don't you take a look?" She grabbed it, yanked it open, already smirking like she thought she'd won something. But the moment she turned the first page, her face dropped. All the color drained out of her. She flipped to the next page. And the next. Then she screamed. I'm not talking about a little yelp, I mean a full-on, blood-curdling, horror movie scream. Her chair fell back with a crash as she jumped up like the folder had burned her. "You monster," she shrieked. "You sick." Gasps went around the table. Travis, her husband, snatched up the folder and started reading. His mouth hung open. He looked at me, stunned. "Is this real?" I nodded once. "Every bit of it," I said. "Every screenshot. Every receipt. Every single word." The table went silent. You could have heard a fork drop in the kitchen. My mother opened her mouth like she was about to say something, but then shut it again. She looked like a fish out of water. "You all really thought I'd never fight back," I said as I stood up. "You counted on me staying quiet." I looked around the room at every single face. The girl. The ATM. The quiet one who'd just take it and keep giving. But guess what? I leaned in, locked eyes with Sabrina. "That little show of yours? It's done. Now, if you're wondering what was in that folder, I'll get there. But before I do, you need to understand how we ended up here. Because this wasn't something Sabrina woke up and decided out of nowhere. This was years in the making. Layer by layer. Brick by brick. Every snide regret. Every betrayal. Every time they made sure I knew I wasn't one of them. I was never the favorite, not even close. Sabrina was the star of the show. Good grades, big smile, always knew how to charm a room. She could lie straight to someone's face and still get thanked for it. Me? I was quiet. Kept to myself. Didn't like the spotlight, and apparently they couldn't stand that. They mistook my silence for weakness. I left home at 19. Paid my way through college. Worked 2 jobs. Never once asked for anything. Meanwhile, Sabrina flunked out of 2 different majors, took off to Europe to find herself, and then came home and married Travis, a guy who's basically a walking LinkedIn profile in a blazer. Oh, and the wedding? Yeah, I paid for half of it. My parents couldn't afford it, but somehow still managed to take a 2-week cruise right afterward. I didn't say a word. I never did. Even when they joked about me being the family accountant, I just kept helping. Covered Dad's dental surgery. Sent money when Mom said the heating bill was overdue. Even pitched in for cousin Maya's tuition when her scholarship fell through. They'd always say thank you, sure, but with that tone. The one that said, well, of course you'd help. You don't have a family of your own. And maybe that's what did it. I'm single. No kids. No spouse. No chaos. Just me, my job, and my dog. And to them, that meant I had nothing better to do than bankroll their lives. Sabrina treated me like I was her emergency fund. Travis lost his job? I got a call. Just a little loan. Her car broke down? Come on, you make 6 figures. What's a couple grand? Her kid needed therapy and the insurance wouldn't cover it? Guess who she called? And I always said yes. Because I told myself it was family. But somewhere along the way, helping turned into obligation. Then expectation. Then straight-up demand. It started off with little jabs. Oh, you brought the nice wine? Must be nice. Of course you're early, no kids, no stress. I wish I could stay late at work to avoid my husband too. But it didn't stay small. It got mean. You're so cold, Sabrina once told me. Maybe that's why you're still alone. You don't know what real stress is. You don't even have a real life. You're just bitter because no one needs you. Funny thing is, they did need me. All the time. They just needed me quietly. Financially. In secret. Behind closed doors. Then one day I got a text from Sabrina. Sabrina. Hey, can you co-sign on a small business loan? Travis and I are opening a wellness cafe. Me. No. Her reply came quick. Sabrina. Wow. Really? Then nothing. Radio silence. That was 3 months ago. Since then, it's been a slow freeze-out. Mom stopped calling. Dad's messages turned into single-word replies. I didn't get invited to the last family dinner. Sabrina blocked me on every social media app she could right after posting some sanctimonious story about cutting out toxic people. But I didn't sit around crying about it. No pity party. No spiral. Instead, I got to work. I started pulling receipts. Literally. See, I keep records. Bank transfers. Emails. Texts. Dates. I'm not some clueless girl, I pay attention. Over the past 5 years alone, I'd sent more than $82,000 to various family members. Yeah, you heard that right. 78 grand. $9,000 for Travis's rehab. $1,200 for Sabrina's emergency dental work, which turned out to be cosmetic veneers. $2,000 toward my dad's back surgery. $11,500 to help mom out of credit card debt. $8,000 for Maya's college move-in. And $5,300 for a so-called family emergency that ended up being a beach vacation to Cabo. Not once did any of them offer to pay me back. They just kept their hands out. And when I finally stopped handing over cash, suddenly I was the selfish one. So yeah, I made a folder. A real, physical folder. Inside I included everything. Confirmation emails. Payment receipts. Text threads where they asked for money. Screenshots of Sabrina trash-talking me to her friend, calling me manipulative just because I turned down the loan. I even made a timeline highlighting every major payment I made over the years. And just to put a bow on it, I printed out social media posts. The ones where they joked about me behind my back. Private comments where Sabrina called me a cash cow with no spine. She didn't realize I had access to those threads. So yeah, that's what she saw when she opened the folder. That's what made her scream. She wasn't just exposed, she was completely unraveled. Every line, every document, every hard truth was there in black and white. And while she stood there screaming, the rest of the family finally began to realize what they'd been part of. Mom looked like she was about to pass out. Travis was stuck on one specific line, $4, $200 paid towards Sabrina's credit card, which had been used at a hotel in Santa Monica with someone named Tessa. He stared at that page and asked, "What is this?" I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. For once in my life, I wasn't defending myself. I wasn't arguing or explaining. I was just holding up the truth and letting them look at it. You kept records? My mom finally asked. Her voice was small, shaky. Of everything? I turned to her calmly. You never remembered, I said. So someone had to. Sabrina was still standing, still pale, fists clenched tight. Her eyes were darting between Travis, the folder, and me. This is a violation, she hissed. You had no right. No right? I said, rising to my feet. You stood in front of everyone here and declared I wasn't part of this family. And they clapped. Now you're mad that I came prepared. Travis flipped another page. What's this about Santa Monica? He asked, his voice sharp. Sabrina's head snapped toward him. Don't start. Who's Tessa? He said. Why were you staying at a hotel for 3 nights on my credit card? She didn't answer. Didn't have to. Her silence screamed louder than anything she could have said. Then Mom raised her hands like she was trying to smooth everything over. Can we all just take a breath and be reasonable? Sure, I said. Let's be reasonable. Let's talk about the time you called me a parasite while cashing the check I sent you. She blinked like I'd slapped her. That's not fair, she said. We were under a lot of stress. No, I snapped. You were under stress. And I bailed you out. Every single time. And the one time I say no? I continued, my voice rising. Suddenly I'm the villain? Dad, who'd been completely silent this whole time, finally spoke. You're making this a bigger deal than it is. I turned to him. My voice went quiet. You let them do this to me for years. You saw it. You heard it. And you didn't do a damn thing because standing up to them was too hard. He didn't argue. He just looked down at the table. Then Sabrina slammed her hand down, rattling the dishes. You're just mad because no one needs you anymore. Wrong, I said coldly. I'm not mad. I'm done. She let out this ugly, bitter laugh. You're pathetic. You seriously think bringing a folder and printing out screenshots makes you the victim? You're just a control freak. And you, I said, stepping toward her, only cared about me when I was funding your life. You don't get to play the martyr, she shouted. You chose to help. No one forced you. And yet, I replied, staring her down, you expected it. Every single time. Until it stopped being generosity. And turned into obligation. And the second I said no, you kicked me out. My voice cracked, not with sadness, but with fury. You never wanted a brother. You wanted a wallet with legs. Travis stood now, holding the folder. Is this true? He asked, turning to Sabrina. All of it. And for the first time in forever, Sabrina didn't have a snarky comeback. No fake tears. No gaslighting. Just silence. You lied to me, Travis said. About the hotel. The money. About him. You made it sound like he was the problem. I had to, she shouted suddenly. He was turning everyone against me. I wasn't, I said. You did that all by yourself. The room fell quiet again. Then Mom leaned forward, softer this time. One last attempt. Listen, sweetheart. Maybe we overreacted. But this is family. Families fight. We can get past this. I shook my head. You're not hearing me. She tilted her head. What? I'm not asking for peace, I said. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm telling you, I'm done. Sabrina sneered. Oh, give me a break, Sabrina snapped. You've said this before. Stop acting like it's some dramatic turning point. I stared her straight in the eyes. Not like this. Then I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out a second envelope. My dad groaned, tired already. What now? I slid it across the table. Travis caught it before it slid off the edge. He opened it up, skimmed the first line, and his expression changed instantly. His voice dropped. What is this? I'll save you the trouble, I said. Their power of attorney revocation forms. For Mom. Travis kept reading. Medical proxy? Revoked. Emergency contact? Taken off. I've already signed everything. I took a breath. I'm not just stepping back emotionally. I'm stepping back legally. I'm no longer responsible for any of you. In any way. My mother gasped like she'd been slapped. You're cutting ties? Completely? Completely, I said. Starting now. Tears welled up in her eyes. You're being selfish. Yes, we made mistakes, but we're still your family. I looked her dead in the eyes and my voice came out calm and certain. No, you're not. I put on my coat. Took one last look at the people who used to be my family. Then I turned around, walked out the door, and left them there frozen in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner. The table still full. Food going cold. Truths hanging in the air like smoke. I didn't look back. Not because I didn't care. I did. It hurt, God, it hurt. But when that door closed behind me and I stepped out into the cold November night, something shifted inside me. Something deep. Something final. I could breathe. I didn't head straight home. Instead, I took a detour and stopped by the lake I used to visit as a kid, the one where Dad used to take me fishing. I parked the car and just sat there, staring out at the still water, wrapped in silence. And for the first time in what felt like forever, there was no pressure. No guilt. No invisible weight tugging at me. No one waiting on me to send money or show up or fix anything. Just quiet. Real quiet. The next day? Nothing. Day after that? Still nothing. But by the third day, the messages started. First, a missed call from Mom. Then another. Then a voicemail. You really meant it? We were angry, but we're still your family. I didn't respond. Then Sabrina chimed in, predictably dramatic. You don't even understand what you've done. Travis is filing for divorce. Are you happy now? Something's really wrong with you. And then Dad. You went too far. We all said things we regret. But what you did, that's a low blow. Your mother is a wreck. Come fix this. I ignored them all. And the strange part? I thought I'd feel torn up about it. Thought I'd lie awake at night wondering if I'd gone too far. But instead, I slept better than I had in years. No more second-guessing every word I texted. No more dread every time my phone buzzed. No more guilt-wrapped Venmo requests disguised as emergencies. It was quiet. Peaceful. I could hear myself think again. I started getting up early. Going for runs. Taking time with my coffee. I made appointments I'd been putting off for years, doctor, dentist, even therapy. Not because I was broken, but because, for once, I was allowed to take care of me. I changed my emergency contacts. Took my parents off the list. Reset all my passwords. Shut down every joint account they had access to. Blocked Sabrina everywhere she could reach me. This wasn't revenge. It was closure. A week after Thanksgiving, I got a text from Maya, my cousin, the one who clapped when they voted me out. I didn't know you paid for my tuition. I'm sorry. I followed the crowd. You were the only one who ever actually helped. I didn't answer, but I read it. Twice. Then something I never expected, a message from Travis. I filed for divorce. Everything in that folder checked out. She cheated. Lied. Manipulated. Not just you. Me too. You did the right thing. I should have left her sooner. I didn't see that one coming. But it hit. A few days later, I did something I hadn't done in years. I applied for a job in another city. Not to run away, but because, for the first time in my life, I was free to go. No more, you should stay close. No more, who'll take care of us if you leave? I started reconnecting with old friends. People I hadn't seen in years because I was always too busy with family. And the craziest thing? Some of them had seen the post I made online. The one about Thanksgiving. They reached out just to say, "We're proud of you." That was brave. No asks. No guilt. No angle. Just simple, human support. Someone asked me, "Don't you regret it?" I thought about it for a second. Then I said, "I only regret not doing it sooner." I thought that was it. The end of the story. And in a way, it was. But people like them, they don't let things end clean. Especially not when the weight of your absence starts to settle in. The first few weeks after Thanksgiving were quiet. Beautifully, eerily quiet. No calls. No manipulation. No drama. Until Christmas. On December 22nd, I got a text from my mother. Just a photo. Their living room. Stockings hung. A half-decorated tree. And in the center of it all, an empty space where the presents usually piled up. "It doesn't feel the same without you," the caption read. "Chloe keeps asking why Uncle isn't coming this year." I stared at it for a while. No apology. No responsibility. Just the same manipulative undertone. "Look what you've done. Look who you're hurting." I didn't reply. On December 23rd, Sabrina called. I let it ring. Then a text came through. "I know I messed up, but you don't have to punish everyone. Just come for Chloe. She misses you." 2 minutes later, another one. "Also, Mom and Dad are behind on the mortgage. I know you don't care anymore, but the bank called today. Thought you'd want to know." There it was. The ask. It always came that way, wrapped in guilt, softened with fake concern, dressed up like care. But the ending was always the same. They wanted something. So I blocked the number. December 24th. Another text rolled in. This time from Dad. "All right. You made your point. We get it. But enough is enough. We need help. We're still your blood." That night, I sat alone by the fireplace, glass of wine in hand. I looked around my little apartment. No tree. No noise. No drama. Just quiet. The same silence they always said would destroy me. And for the first time in my life, I was grateful for it. But of course, it didn't end there. January. My phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. I picked up without thinking. "Is this Jason?" a man's voice asked. "Yeah. Who's this?" "My name's Greg. I'm calling on behalf of your father. He said you're listed as the executor for the family trust." I went cold. "That role was revoked 2 months ago," I said. "It's official. The family attorney filed everything. My name's not on a thing anymore." He hesitated. "I see. Well, your father mentioned he hasn't been able to reach you and wanted me to explore some options." Of course he did. They were scrambling. Sabrina. My parents. The whole crew. The ATM was closed. The safety net had snapped. So now they were getting creative. I hung up without another word. February. That's when the final straw showed up, an envelope in my mailbox. No return address. But I knew the handwriting. My mom's. I'd seen it on birthday cards and report cards. Now it was on a 3-page letter. Page 1 was full of regret. "We said things we didn't mean. You've always been the strong one. We never realized how much we leaned on you." Page 2 brought the guilt. Your father's health isn't great. Sabrina's all alone now. Chloe's been struggling. We're really worried about her. And page 3? That was the pitch. We're selling the house. We're underwater on the mortgage. We just need a little help to get through this. Then we'll never ask again. Please, Jason? Do it for your father. Do it for the family. I sat with it for a long while. Let myself feel everything they were trying to make me feel. The weight of being the strong one. The obligation. The familiar ache of being expected to fix what they kept breaking. Then I folded the letter. Got up. Walked to the kitchen. Dropped it in the trash. Because the truth was, they weren't asking for help. They were asking for access. Again. They didn't want me back. They wanted the version of me who kept saying yes. The one who paid in silence. Gave without question. Carried every burden they refused to hold themselves. But that guy? He's gone. I'm not their scapegoat anymore. Not their backup plan. Not the duct tape holding together a family that never really saw me. I'm done. And the part that scares them the most? I'm doing just fine without them. I landed a new job. Moved to a new city. Bigger place. Fresh start. I started volunteering again, not because someone begged me to, but because I wanted to. I built a life where no one calls at 11 p.m. asking me to cover for their screw-ups. Where no one turns kindness into currency. Where independence isn't treated like betrayal. I don't regret helping them. I regret how long I waited to stop. You want to know what peace actually feels like? It's not being surrounded by people who share your DNA. It's being free from the ones who only call you family when they want something. Me? I got free. Since then, I moved again. Took a job that doesn't make me dread Mondays. Started therapy, real therapy. The kind where you stop trying to fix everybody else and finally start figuring yourself out. I cook for myself now. Sleep deeper. I step outside more. I don't tense up when my phone buzzes. And yeah, sometimes I still think about Chloe. What she's being shown. What she's being taught. But I also know this. One day, she might remember that someone in her family finally said enough. Just a few days ago, another envelope arrived. Handwritten again. Mom's familiar script. 3 words. We're still family. No context. No apology. Just the same old bait. And for the first time, I didn't feel anything. No anger. No sadness. Just nothing. I threw it out and made myself dinner.